Do you see yourself leaving at some point?
I never say never.
Welcome back to The Things. I'm TK, and I'm so excited because joining me today is one of the stars from Netflix's hot new show, Selling Tampa. Colony Reeves is in the house. What's up, gorgeous?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Why was it important for you to be a part of this show?
It was important for me because, for one, I believe representation is so important. And you don't often see a lot of minority real estate brokerages in the luxury realm of real estate. So I felt like doing this show would inspire other women who look like me and other women of color to really go after what you want, whether it is in real estate or whatever your dreams are. Go after what you want because there's enough room for us as well.
I'm one of the first agents under Allure. I'm an OG.
I love that. And I'm assuming you're probably getting a lot of messages, people sliding into your DMs about you being an inspiration to them.
Yes, those are my favorite comments. I almost cry when I see it because just little old me being an inspiration to somebody. I mean, I think that's the most rewarding thing I could ever get out of this.
You know, it's interesting, Colony. Life always seems to give us the tests first and then the lessons later. I'm curious to know what the biggest lesson you've learned from your time on being on the show.
Being true to myself. And I don't know if this is necessarily a lesson or just something that I hold true to me. But when I watched it back, I can proudly say that I was authentic and I was true to myself. And I think I'm going to just always remember that in the back of my head and continue on because that's the most important, is being true to yourself.
Absolutely. It's interesting that you say that because as someone who appreciates privacy, you know, I was curious to know, knowing that cameras would be following your every move and you'd be on this global stage, how that affected your behavior, if at all, which you are saying that it didn't. But did it take some getting used to?
Not really. I always say, me and the ladies, we were made for this.
I will give you cocktail. What kind of tail you giving?
We were, because it really kind of it came natural to us. You know, when the camera started rolling, our natural personalities came, and it was kind of an easy transition into it. And of course, we were doing what we love, which is real estate. So it was just natural.
We talked a little bit about, you know, possibly maybe venturing out to the West Coast, but as one of Allure's top producing agents, do you see yourself leaving at some point to start your own brokerage, or maybe, you know, even joining forces with Anne-Sophie?
I never say never. The sky is the limit. So whenever it's time for me to branch off and do whatever God has planned for me, then I'm gonna follow that. But right now I'm still at Allure.
I love that. Touching on Anne-Sophie really quickly, you know, a lot of people that I've spoken with who've watched the show also kind of felt like you maybe threw her under the bus a little bit during episode 6. To impress Sherelle, but what's your take on that situation? Explain to us kind of what was going on there.
You were more like, yeah, Rena, I'm definitely gonna consider it because I'm not really happy at Allure.
Yes, so I do see that, and my thing is, for one, I think people are I think they're misunderstanding the dynamic of our brokerage. So just to clear that up, this is not a boss talking to employees. We don't have a boss. Sherelle is the broker who owns Allure Realty. We're all independent contractors and we hang our license underneath her. So there is no boss employee type of ranking, right?
Yeah.
So at dinner, we're having dinner, we're outside of work, and we're ladies having drinks and dinner as friends, right? Because we all have a good relationship. Me and Sherelle are friends, me and Anne are friends. Now, the throwing under the bus, not necessarily that, more like holding someone accountable.
Anne is pretty much downplaying her conversation with Rena that day. I just gotta keep it real at this point.
Anne is my girl. I love her to death. But in that moment, I felt like she could have been a little bit more transparent because my intention going to the dinner was to put everything out on the table and let's have a conversation like grown women and adults and let's talk about it. And so in that moment, maybe she wasn't as transparent as I wanted everyone to be at the table. And so that's why I kind of gave her a nudge like, you know, girl, that's really not how it went down. So I don't think that has anything to do with throwing anyone under the bus because there's no gain. I don't gain anything from it. So why would I throw her under the bus? That doesn't make any sense.
So I'm a little surprised that she didn't promote you, especially since you were such, you were so proactive in letting her know that you were capable of doing more work. What was going through your head when you heard that?
I have decided that I am going to put Joanna in a higher role. She's going to take on more responsibilities.
Yeah, I was blindsided, definitely. I expressed that on the show too. You know, I felt like maybe if she was going to make that decision, a heads up would have been appreciated, especially because we had just had a conversation prior about me wanting a more elevated role. So I would have appreciated just some heads up, but ultimately, you know, that is Sherelle's decision.
Cho, he was a nice little piece of eye candy for all of us watching on the show. Now, is he still just a client of yours?
Definitely. Cho is definitely still a client. I believe he's single. So ladies out there, if you want to shoot your shot, I think he's available.
Well, we were rooting for you. We were rooting for you and him.
Invite you, girl. I'm trying to get you to move in. We got 5 bedrooms and 5 baths.
There's enough space for me.
It was never going to happen between me and Cho. I tried to hook him up with Anne, but I don't know what happened.
Well, they were speaking French together, and we thought that was going somewhere.
Donc tu parles français?
Oui, je parle un petit peu français.
Français? Oh, ça c'est phénoménal.
But I thought for sure you two would have that would have been so, but you're like, no, that's...
It's a client.
Okay, are you still single? Or are you ready and you're ready to mingle or what? You are.
My husband, okay? I don't want to mingle. I'm ready for my husband.
Okay, so what are you looking for exactly? Who's going to be good enough for Colony Reeves?
I am looking for someone who's patient. I think patience is number one. And I need someone to really want to get to know me, like on a deeper level.
So if that was difficult to find before, now that you're on this major platform and this stage, how do you weed out the ones? Because I'm sure there are tons of the former types of people coming for you.
Yeah, I am. You know what? God has blessed me with discernment. So I could really kind of tell where something is going to be going. Especially, I mean, I'm a little older now. I just turned 30, so my mindset is different.
So with the way season 1 closed out, first of all, the minute the 8 episodes were over, I was like, no, give me more. But not knowing what's next for Sherelle, location-wise, accessibility-wise, and it seems the door was left kind of wide open for season 2. Is that something that we can look forward to?
We hope so. Fingers crossed. I think we'll just have to stay tuned to see.
All right, I've got my fingers and toes crossed. I need to know from you, Colony, is all well?
That's what I like to be, in a space where just all is well, and truly it is.